Recently, as you'll probably know, John Cena has been looking for his Road to WrestleMania trademark. Nakamura ended his hopes of winning the Royal Rumble, Strowman ended his hopes of winning the Elimination Chamber, and AJ Styles continued to be AJ Styles at Fastlane. With no other options available, Cena remembered that he is in fact Big Match John, and could probably just call out a lucrative opponent of his choice. He did just that, and has now set his sights firmly on The Undertaker. The dead man is famed for the remarkable quality of his Mania matches. We all know about the classics with Batista, Edge, Michaels, Triple H, and CM Punk, as well as his heartbreaking loss to Lesnar at WrestleMania 30, one of the most impactful WrestleMania moments of all time. When it comes to John Cena, however, his WrestleMania history isn't quite as memorable. Sure, he's headlined 5 of the bloody things, but you don't hear about Cena's Mania exploits as often as other massive stars like Hogan, Savage, Austin, and Rock. That's right, we don't feel as though John Cena is getting enough attention, which sounds a little bit ridiculous, I admit. So in the build-up to WrestleMania 34, we're going to take a look at all 13 of his previous Mania matches and rank them from worst to best. So strap in for a roller coaster of title wins, title losses, very bright t-shirts, and a massive dose of hustle, loyalty, and respect. Also, I just checked the stats, there's not going to be any title losses. Cena has never lost a title at WrestleMania. How very unsurprising. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic.com, and this is every John Cena match at WrestleMania, ranked from worst to best. Join us! Number 13, John Cena vs. The Miz at WrestleMania 27. Remember that time the main event of WrestleMania turned out to be an angle setting up the following year's main event? That was quite interesting, wasn't it? No surprises here, the worst match of Cena's WrestleMania career is this sadly underwhelming showdown with the Wizard of Oz. Cena and Miz closed the show in 2011 with whatever the opposite of a barn burner is, and actually wrestled each other to a double countout in the main event of WrestleMania. That surely can't have been the finish, right? Right. WWE actually gave us something much worse, as The Rock interfered to blatantly screw Cena and set up his own marquee showdown with Big Ol' Jonathan. The message was clear, this match isn't too important, so make sure you buy a ticket to next year's show instead. It was truly frustrating, and also tarnished what should have been Miz's big moment. As a side note, The Rock wasn't even a special guest referee or outside enforcer or anything like that. He was the host of WrestleMania. We didn't see the New Day crash Reigns vs. Undertaker last year, although the more I think about it, the more I'd quite like to have seen that happen. Number 12, John Cena vs. The Rock at WrestleMania 29. You know how we were just talking about Rock vs. Cena, the match set up by brutally sacrificing the main event of a different WrestleMania? Well, this isn't that one. The original was actually pretty okay, so we'll talk about that in a little while, but the sequel is another story entirely. WWE got a bit cheeky in 2013, offering us exactly the same main event as the year before, a match they'd originally billed as once in a lifetime. Their second encounter was the least necessary sequel since Grease 2, and was flawed in 3 key ways. Firstly, the build-up was very predictable. Everybody knew WWE wanted to book Cena vs. Rock again because the first match made lots of money. This meant that the road to WrestleMania was a very straightforward one, as Cena steamrolled the 2013 Royal Rumble and Rock brutally ended the mammoth title reign of CM Punk. Secondly, the match itself wasn't as good as the first. We'd already had the novelty of Big Match John and Big Match Dwayne in the same big match, so this one lacked a certain sparkle. Also, Rock unfortunately suffered an abdominal injury midway through, rendering him a lot less mobile than 1 year prior. Finally, everybody knew the result before it actually happened. We'll talk about this when we cover Rock Cena 1 later on, but all you need to know is that somebody got their win back. That's just how wrestling works sometimes. Also, have you seen Grease 2? What a disgrace. Number 11, John Cena vs. JBL at WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania 21 is commonly known as the Big Double Torch Pass, or it should be because I just made that up and I think it sounds fun. As the nickname implies, this event saw a changing of the guard in 2 separate matches. Batista absolutely destroyed Triple H in the main event, wrenching away the World Heavyweight Championship and dominating one of the biggest heels in the history of wrestling. It was wonderful. Cena was also on the receiving end of a passing of the torch. Yes, just before his OVW classmate powerbombed Triple H into oblivion, Cena was getting absolutely battered by JBL. Ultimately, John won and began his first ever WWE Championship reign, but it was hardly an emphatic victory. Instead, we saw Cena take a lot of punishment for the best part of 10 minutes, only to overcome the odds right at the last. It was a feel-good moment and the Cena hate hadn't set in yet, but this match was totally overshadowed by the main event. Number 10, John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice at WrestleMania 33. This was a house show match with a marriage proposal at the end, but that doesn't mean it wasn't fun. WrestleMania 33 was a show of big matches, from Reigns vs Undertaker to Rollins vs Triple H, and even Goldberg vs Brock Lesnar with maximum finishers enabled. But the entire card couldn't have consisted of huge showdowns, and Cena took a backseat role with surprising ease. Teaming up with real-life girlfriend Nikki Bella, John faced off against fellow real-life couple Miz and Maurice. That sentence makes me sound like I've never been in any sort of meaningful relationship in my life. Despite the risk of being distracted by somebody he'd done kissing with before, Cena managed to form an effective team with Nikki, and they picked up a feel-good win. He then stood in the center of the ring, dropped to one knee, and nailed a 6-spinner-rooney in honor of Booker T. No, of course not. He dropped to one knee and proposed to Nikki, a moment which was quite unfairly booed by a hefty portion of the crowd. Thankfully, the pair didn't seem to mind, and although it's hardly seen as the most impressive Cena match at WrestleMania, it certainly played a role on the show. Number 9, John Cena vs The Big Show at WrestleMania 20. Every story has a beginning. Hogan teaming with Mr. T at the first WrestleMania, Undertaker beating Jimmy Snuka to go 1-0, Danny and Sandy meeting on the beach and falling in love at the start of Grease. Cena's WrestleMania story began in 2004 with a US Championship match against The Big Show. Like a more casual version of Hogan vs Andre, this match pitted a muscle-bound superhero against a monstrous heel, and culminated in a big feat of strength. Sadly, the match wasn't that great, but like Hogan vs Andre, it didn't have to be. It kicked off the show with a simple story of good versus bad, and ended with the impressive visual of Cena hoisting Big Show onto his shoulders for the FU. Remember when it was called the FU? It's funny in hindsight, isn't it? Like calling something the "you're rubbish" or "I dislike you very much, please go away." Before you get excited and start to correct me in the comments section, I know the FU got its name because it was similar to Brock Lesnar's F5. I already know this. Number 8, John Cena vs Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. Between WrestleMania 27 and 29, Cena played a very important role indeed. He main evented all 3 shows, twice in an intergenerational showdown with The Rock. At some point, he'd have to take a step back, and that occurred in 2014. WrestleMania 30 was the site of Daniel Bryan's amazing triumph and the end of The Undertaker's legendary streak. The rest of the show was very good too, but everything outside of those 2 storylines understandably had to fall in line. One of these lesser matches saw Cena take on Bray Wyatt in a pretty bizarre feud. The cult leader was attempting to force him to embrace his dark side, despite Cena being the physical embodiment of good and the man who constantly preaches hustle, loyalty, and respect. The match was a fairly good one, but did Wyatt no favors at all. Many fans were excited to see whether Bray would tempt Cena into turning heel, but John resisted Wyatt's taunting throughout and beat him clean as a whistle. Number 7, John Cena vs RUSEV at WrestleMania 31. As we've just discussed, WrestleMania 30 saw Cena feud with a popular upper mid-card heel, defeating him despite it being the far less interesting outcome. Eager to freshen things up and give Cena a new lease of life, WWE booked something a little different the following year. WrestleMania 31 saw Cena feud with a popular upper mid-card foreign heel, defeating him despite it being the far less interesting outcome. USA! 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 This match is best remembered as the one where Rusev made one of the best WrestleMania entrances of all time, coming to the ring in an actual tank. Was I the only person surprised by the size of the tank? I knew tanks were big, but I didn't think they were that big. Cena beat Rusev clean, and again, the match was a good one, but did leave a lingering feeling of wasted potential. We've ranked this one slightly ahead of Cena vs Wyatt, because Rusev losing to Cena didn't feel quite as disappointing. WWE really made us think that Bray could get into his head the year before, but instead he lost because he didn't have as much courage or muscle mass. Number 6, John Cena vs Edge vs The Big Show at WrestleMania 25. This one was quite strange. Edge and Big Show were engaged in a very messy heel versus heel feud for the World Heavyweight Championship. It wasn't a simple case of Edge holding the gold and Big Show wanting it. There was also a convoluted love story which involved Vicky Guerrero cheating on Edge with the Big Show. But Edge never really loved Vicky anyway and was only using her to further his position in the company. So who were we supposed to root for here? The answer was, predictably, John Cena. Cena strolled into the feud like Poochie onto the Itchy and Scratchy show, instantly making the WrestleMania blow-off a triple threat and giving us a solid babyface to cheer for. Or boo, because modern wrestling is weird like that. The match was fun, or as fun as a match can be when it's on the same card as that Michaels vs Taker epic. We saw Cena lift Big Show and Edge simultaneously for a double attitude adjustment, although Edge scampered away just before he could finish the move. To help you understand what an amazing feat of strength that is, lifting Big Show and Edge at the same time is like lifting a grizzly bear and Edge at the same time. Cena won the match and the World Heavyweight Championship in the process. It was okay, but the best is yet to come. Number 5, John Cena vs. The Rock at WrestleMania 28. The first installment of Rock vs. Cena was certainly the better of the two, and also one of the biggest dream matches in WrestleMania history. Alongside Hogan vs. Rock, Sting vs. Triple H, and Dino Bravo vs. Ronnie Garvin, this match is remembered as one of the biggest in terms of sheer star power. Although hardly one of the best Mania main events of all time, Rock Cena 1 exceeded expectations. Mr. Johnson proved that he hadn't lost too much of that in-ring explosiveness and delivered in a way that many weren't predicting him to be able to. The biggest strength this match had in its favor was shock value. To the delight of non-children around the world, Cena actually lost. After years of mercilessly pounding his younger, fresher opponents into dust, he finally suffered the same fate himself. Cena's cockiness was his own downfall, attempting to steal the people's elbow only to wander straight into a rock bottom. Silly John, very silly indeed. Number 4, John Cena vs. Randy Orton vs. Triple H at WrestleMania 24. Randall Keith, Randall Keith, Randall Keith, na. Randall Keith, Randall Keith. That's right, this match wasn't so much about Cena as it was Randall Keith Orton. Just 1 month away from changing his theme music and embracing the voices in his head, young Randy walked into this triple threat match as WWE Champion and walked out with the belt still in his possession. You might think a WrestleMania title match featuring John Cena, Randy Orton, and Triple H would be remembered as a lot more than it is, but this match rarely ever gets mentioned in discussions about any of the three big men involved. It's a shame too, because this was a lot of fun. Orton picked up the victory by punting Triple H in the head, before choosing to cover Cena because he'd just taken a pedigree, and as we all know, in the land of professional wrestling, a pedigree can sometimes be more devastating than a straight-up kick to the temple. Number 3, John Cena vs. Batista at WrestleMania 26. I do not envy John Cena or Batista at WrestleMania 26. The pair were tasked with going out and putting on a WWE title match in front of 72,000 people directly before the gigantic rematch between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. All things considered, Cena and Batista did a fantastic job. Their match was kept relatively short, clocking in at around 13 minutes. That proved to be a very wise decision, not just because of the epic encounter that was set to follow, but also because it kept the action fresh and exciting throughout. Many title matches have tried to go too long with unfortunate consequences. Just look at Orton vs. Triple H at 25, or the T-Birds vs. the Scorpions at Thunder Road, one of the more disappointing moments in Greece if I'm being brutally honest. Cena and Batista kept the formula simple and it served them well. The ending sequence was particularly memorable, as after trading finishers, Cena reversed a Batista bomb into the STFU for a clean submission victory. Number 2, John Cena vs. Triple H at WrestleMania 22. Say what you will about Triple H burying younger wrestlers, but the game was never afraid to put someone over on the grandest stage of them all. Except for in 2000, where he should have probably lost to The Rock. And in 2009, where he probably should have lost to Randy Orton. And maybe even in Triple H has often lost when appropriate, from tapping out to Chris Benoit in the middle of the ring to letting Batista powerbomb him through the middle of the earth. He also did so at WrestleMania 22 against Cena, cementing John's rise from very strong wrestler who doesn't lose often to fleshy transformer. The final moments saw the game trapped in an STFU, only to struggle and reach for the bottom rope. He then attempted a pedigree, only to be caught in another STFU and forced to tap out in the middle of the ring. Even though many people probably expected Cena to retain his title in this match, there's a certain transcendent quality to beating Triple H so decisively. He is, after all, the final boss of WWE, and so few have managed to beat him so comprehensively. Number 1, John Cena vs. Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23. In the latter years of his career, Shawn Michaels had two favourite hobbies. The first was cementing his legacy as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. The second was besting Triple H in WrestleMania matches. We might remember their bouts against The Undertaker more vividly, but HBK and the game also tried to outdo one another against John Cena a few years prior. Were it not for Shawn's uncanny ability to beat his best friend at everything, apart from being tall, that WrestleMania 22 match would have topped this list. Instead, that privilege goes to Cena vs. Michaels at WrestleMania 23. Yes, just 1 year after Triple H tried his very best. This bout was longer than the previous year's main event and carried an altogether more epic feel. If Cena vs. Triple H was the ultimate example of John overcoming the odds, this match was early evidence that he could have great back and forth contests as well. Cena won, which really did annoy a lot of people, to be honest. Fortunately for their blood pressure, HBK got his win back a few weeks later in that insanely long match on Monday Night Raw. So that's our list. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and you can follow me on Twitter here. If you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can pledge to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.